right, starting up the stream and starting up the recording. Hey everyone, this is episode 401 of the OotiniCast, being recorded on the 17th of November 2020. And we're going to get going on the actual podcast here in a minute. This is the raw version of the show that will then be cleaned up and put out as a podcast tomorrow. And let me tweet this out so everyone knows that the show has begun. And then, we should be pretty much ready to roll into it. My Audacity is already rolling. I think yours is too, Kitty?
Yep.
Yeah.
Ready to go. For some reason, it started at 4 seconds. That's not going to be a problem, is it?
I doubt it.
Because you do it from the beginning.
We sync up from the end, and then...
okay.
And then even if there was, on the occasion that, that it messes up a little bit, I can usually figure out, oh, okay, this is where it actually starts and kind of sync it up. It's not a problem. All right.
Roger.
401. Let me go ahead and tweet this out.
Oops, wrong one.
Bango, there we go. All good. I'm still getting used to the changes they made to the Twitch, or not the Twitch, but the Twitter app.
Oh.
Yeah, it's a little weird. But all right, I think we're good. Why isn't it showing the... There it is. Okay, it is going. All right. Yep, it worked. We're good. Alrighty. Got a few people in already, I see. Good. And let's see. This looks like the recording's going fine. So I think if you're ready, Kitty, I'm ready too.
I'm ready.
Okay, going in 5. Hi, and welcome to the OotiniCast. Wherever I go, he goes. This is episode 401, being recorded on Tuesday, November 17th, 2020. I'm your host, Chill, and with me is my co-host, KittyKissz. Hey, Kitty.
Hey, Chill. Hey, chat.
And no big guests today. We are simply going to have some fun today with just the two of us after the big 400 show last time. And Kitty, what you been up to since the 400?
I've been streaming, of course, and I rolled up a new character. A bounty hunter. I hadn't played the bounty hunter in a long time.
Nice. Yeah, I saw you tweet out her character. Really cool character design. I really liked it.
Oh, thanks.
Yeah.
That's the nightmare mode space Barbie kicking in. So I rolled up a female bounty hunter so that I could romance Torian, because it seems that there's a lot of people that love Torian.
Mm-hmm.
And I'd never done the romance all the way through. So the last time I did it, I stopped before the chapters because I was like, not being a Force user sometimes just kind of takes me out of the chapters.
Right.
So I never got to do it. Right. And so this time I'm going to push all the way through.
See that big return?
Get that romance. Because everybody says it's the best. It's the best one. And I'm like, all right. The only romance I haven't done is with Koth. And every time I threaten to do Koth, the chat goes crazy and says, I will kill you. We are going to never watch the stream again. So I'm kind of held hostage at the moment.
That's funny.
Someday I'll do it and not say anything. And then chat will be like, whoa, what's going on? I'm like, nothing. No, you didn't see anything here. And that's about it.
You'll have to make a character specifically to do the romance, I guess.
I know. I will. Or I'll have to just do it on my own. Because I like to see, what all the options are. So I got to check it out.
You'll have to name him you'll have to specifically name him that character Koth's lover or something, so that so the chat knows to prepare.
Right. Lover o Koth.
Or to make him happier, maybe make the character as disgusting as possible, so that they get to laugh whenever the kissing scenes happen.
That is a great idea. I'm gonna steal that.
Go for it.
I need
That
to
sounds
do that.
awesome. I've seen the Koth one, so. All right. Awesome.
I've also I found something interesting in game, and I was wondering if you've noticed this, or Chad, if you guys have noticed either as well. There seems to be a couple of the flash, or not flashpoints, but some of the story missions, particularly on Balmora, where you get into the mission and you get really deep in the map, and there are points that they're like little boxes that you can click on with your character that will send you to the start of the location.
Okay.
And I've never seen those before, and I've only seen them so far in Belsavis. And they're strategically placed in different spots because, you know, the storyline for your class and the planetary storyline.
You said Balmora before. Is it both, or is it one or the other?
Is it what?
Is it Balmora or Belsavis? Because you've said both planets now. I'm just not sure if
Balmora.
you mean both.
I'm sorry. Yeah, it's Balmora.
It's Balmora. Okay.
And you can get really deep into the quest on the map, which, you know, it's a long way in there. And then midway through that, when you even go deeper, there are even more of those terminals that can send you back. So you can
that's cool.
Go back to the midpoint, or you can actually go all the way back to the start of the map of the weapons factory.
So I was going to say, is this the factory at the end? That makes sense.
Yeah.
And
I'd never seen that before.
And this must be on the Empire side, where that one elevator takes you up, and then there's that whole other area, like where the old Datacron is and everything.
Yeah, exactly.
Wow.
And
yeah. No, I didn't notice that.
I've never seen it.
The only time,
and I'm wondering.
Ironically, the only other time that I can think that I have seen it is on Belsavis. Not Balmora, but Belsavis. It's in the Section X heroic area. There is, I think it's on the Republic side, and it's like you go into the mission and you have to kill a bunch of things, and it takes quite a while. It's like the whole mission happens inside this instance, and you go underground. And then right at the end, like you kill this one guy, and then right behind him, there's one of those teleporters. And the teleporter takes you to another teleporter that you pass right at the beginning of the instance. And it'll basically take you, almost outside the instance. You run outside from there. And it just saves you some time.
I remember that one, but this in particular, they're like little terminals.
Yeah.
And I'd never seen them before, and I played through it so many times. I'm like, did I miss it? But I was curious to whether if anybody'd seen them, or if that's something that the devs are putting in.
I would assume that they haven't changed anything about that, but I could be wrong. I'll have to look. We'll have to look for that. We're going to be doing Empire stories pretty soon. We'll talk more about that at the end of the episode. But so we'll have to keep an eye when we get there.
Yeah, that's about it. I'm stewing on that. That's all I do.
Okay.
I toss and turn in bed just thinking, have they been there the whole time? I bitch and moan about how I wish they had them, and they do. What's going on?
And Arjar is saying that there's some on Ord Mantell, which I can't think of where that would be, but I would assume that'd be in that last area, because that last area is really deep. Yeah, the volcano area, right? I don't know where those are. Yeah, I haven't noticed them there either. That's interesting.
We're gonna keep our eye on.
And Arjar said, yeah, in the volcano, so that makes sense.
Yeah. Huh? And that's about it.
We'll have to keep looking for those.
What's up with you and chat?
All right, well, let's see. We're pretty early on, but Deck is here. 5 Swords 1978, Magnavolt 2020, Old 7 Taz, Optank Arjar, and Siskai are all here. Hey, everyone. And since I've been, since the last episode, made a new cosplay character based on Robin from, Batman and Robin, of course. And I went for the whole Burt Ward green shorts look. It's hilarious and wonderful. Body size 1, so that he looks like extra skinny and young. I might do another more modern look later on, but for now I'm kind of enjoying this. I also, how there's different complexions in the game? Well, there's a complexion that makes it look like you have a tan line with goggles, or in this case a mask. So, so I gave him a little mask tan line.
I remember I used to snowboard a lot. And you would get tan from being up on the mountain.
Oh, absolutely.
And you'd have your goggles on, so you'd get raccoon eyes, is what we used to call them.
Right.
And every time I see that, I always go, "Oh, raccoon eyes."
Yep. Well, Robin would get that too if he wears his, if he wears his costume out during the day at all.
Right, especially if it's dirty out. Maybe a little dirt on there.
Right. So yeah, I'm having fun and saying holy this and that Batman a lot. It's a lot of fun. So it's actually really fun. He's not terribly far yet. It's he just dinged 35 and he finished up Balmora, and he is a Jedi Shadow. So this is this is like beginning or middle beginning of Act 2 basically. So I decided to make him a Shadow. I kind of thought about it as like, well, Dark Knight, okay, I guess if I ever do a Batman, he would probably be a knight then. But I do like the idea of Batman or Robin being able to stealth. That feels very appropriate. And so I made Robin a Shadow. And I've never really done Serenity spec before, which is kind of the like the dot / AoE. I think it's called Madness on the other side, or at least it is when it's a sorcerer. I think it might be called as an assassin as well, but I haven't looked it up recently, so I can't remember. And I've never really done this spec before. I've tried it out when I've leveled other ones briefly, but then it's like I didn't really understand it, and I always ended up switching back, either to tanking if they were tanking, or to the backstabby spec if they weren't. And I'm definitely not good at it yet. But it's kind of fun to actually try a spec that I haven't really done in the game. And in fact,
tried that spec. Sorry.
Mm-hmm, go ahead.
I've tried that spec a number of times and always end up just going back to a different spec. So I know what you're talking about. Yeah,
it's a weird spec in a lot of ways because it has a lot of AoE and a lot of dots. It even has the dot spread, so it's definitely supposed to be a dot spec, and it has a lot of AoE, and it's just very weird. I'm assuming I'm kind of looking ahead on the utilities and the passives and all that, and it it's going to gel more later on. It has not gelled yet. It's one of those specs, like some specs kind of feel they kind of feel natural and they just get a little more complicated as you go, but they feel about the same. This one, like, it hasn't gelled yet, and it's like one of those specs that just doesn't gel at a low level. So I'm looking forward to seeing how it feels like when I'm like, say, close to 75. But I'm not hating it, and the character is really fun. Good. So it's just kind of like, it's just kind of rolling me through the story, and I'm happy with that. And yeah, and some of the abilities are actually kind of cool. Like, I like having the big AoE, the giant AoE damage is cool, and then there's a couple of resets that are kind of nice. So it's definitely a weird spec for me. But I'm kind of enjoying it in a way. It's definitely not going to like make me, make a Serenity sort of Shadow my main or anything like that. But at least I'm enjoying it this time, so that's pretty cool.
That's good.
Yeah.
Sometimes those classes you have to get to all your abilities before you actually start to comprehend what the capabilities are.
Right.
But
go
also,
ahead.
With Robin and having playing Shadow, when you got the sword out, the posture is so Robin.
Yeah, yeah, because he got
yeah. He looks great, by the way. I checked it out.
Thanks. Yeah, and I actually bought a special crystal for him, and I did the same thing or a very similar thing with Daredevil. When I leveled Daredevil, there's only a couple of them in the game, and they're 2-color crystals that have the word striated in them. So it's like there's one that's black and red. I use that one for Daredevil. This one's like yellow and black. It looks sort of almost brownish, which is weird for a lightsaber color. But there's something about the striation that makes the lightsaber blade look more solid. So it looks more like he's like holding a bow staff as opposed to a dual-ended lightsaber, and it just feels appropriate for Robin. I mean, a bow staff may not be the most common weapon for Robin in the comics or whatever, but it feels like something that Robin could use. So it feels pretty good, and it really does make make a lightsaber blade. The striated crystal makes a lightsaber blade feel very solid, like almost like it's a truncheon if it's single bladed, or a staff if it's two.
So is striated the name?
Yeah, it's part of the name. It's like red, black, striated, and then indestructible crystal or whatever crystal.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay, gotcha.
I'm not using indestructible because I'm not tanking, but it was one of those Warhawk crystal. I can't remember which one I ended up buying. Eviscerating. That's right. That's the one I got because it has crit on it. And
I'm gonna check that out.
Yeah. So if that's what if you're looking for a cosplay and you want you want the weapon to not look so much like a lightsaber, and you want it to look more like a solid, like a staff or a baton or a bat or something like that, then I would suggest looking at the striated crystals. There's at least a couple of them in the game. So, and that does a really good job.
Are you using a tuning?
No, I could, but I can't think of one that would actually be appropriate for it. In fact, I was looking specifically for a lightsaber that had as few extra effects as possible, because I wanted it to seem more solid as opposed to more, if it had a big noise to it or something like that, it wouldn't feel like a bow staff at that point.
Right. And sometimes those tunings, when you're using a dual bladed, they only affect one side of the blade. So.
Yeah, that's right. So I'd have to check that out.
That's cool though.
Yeah. I'm having a lot of fun.
Very, like you said, Burt Ward.
Yeah.
And I was just like, yep. That's Burt Ward right there.
Yeah. And it's nice that they have the, that very conservative, short black hairstyle that really helps kind of sell it. Cause,
Dapper Dan, man.
Yeah, exactly. It's very appropriate. So, enjoying that a lot. And let's see, as far as the tip of the week, we didn't have any sent in, so just a reminder, because I did not send out a reminder to people to send them in. If you send them in and yours gets chosen, and in this case you would have been the only one, you would have gotten it for sure, but you'll get an ultimate pack, you'll get and then one of the codes, a Tonfon or an M83R droid or an M2B9 droid code, and those are courtesy of BioWare with the pack from the OotiniCast. Just if you want a little quick tip today, we've touched on this before, but it is live in the game. If for 3,000 tech points, you can get a legendary ember from the fleet. It's from the main one that you can also pick different individual slots of armor or whatever right near Kaizyken. So you can also pick a bunch of, say, armorings or mods or something cheap and just get a bunch of those and deconstruct them, and you might get some embers that way, and I've done that before this was available. But they kind of set it at around the same level so that you're going to get the same number anyway. If you just spend 3,000 tech points and get an ember, you're getting about what you would have gotten if you did it that way. So
that's a great point. I never thought of that. That, you don't get the embers very much. Well, that's a great tip.
Yeah.
That's a good one.
Yep.
I'm learning.
There you go. Right, Narja said, don't know when they appeared, but Nana Nonsense was showing them on her new playthrough. Yeah, and it makes sense. Because I think what was happening is, unless you want to go to Osus, I think it was. Yeah, Osus, and there's some... there's a tech point vendor with decos there, but once you've gotten those, if you've got your 306 gear and whatever, you just kind of end up banging up against the cap. So and they're still worth over $500,000 in credits on, say, this Teal Sean, so it's all good. All right, so that brings us to the Mind Trap. And Kitty, you came up with the idea for this one. I think it was a really good one, and I think people agreed. There's a lot of retweets. We had 38 retweets. We had almost 600 votes. Really awesome. And the Mind Trap was, do you as a player ever feel bad about making dark side choices in SWTOR? And this one I kind of thought would be more... It's funny how often these surprise me, because I thought it would be more angled towards yes, I do. Personally, I am a yes, I do, and that's how I voted. And I think you are as well, Kitty. Is that right?
Yeah, for sure.
But it was not really that high. It was 56.4%. So a little over half say yes, I do. The others, nope, no problem. Lots of replies, which was kind of fun. Ducky, of course, was like, absolutely not. Dark side has cookies. Yeah, and I know that there's people like Ducky out there who like they only do dark side, or and there are of course people who only do light side. So I decided I could have like broken it down into more and said, yes I do, no I don't, or I never do dark side, or I always do dark side. But it felt to me like those were just like breaking it down for no real gain, because if you always do dark side, then clearly you don't have a problem with it, and if you never do dark side, well, presumably you do. So that just I just decided not to break it down any further than that. And Dekian says he loves being dark side on the pub side and letting the other players actually see the dark side choices when you win in the social role. Yep. And yeah, lots of other answers as well. A lot of people saying, hey, I grit my teeth and do them. A lot of people saying, well, I like to see both sides. Some people saying, I'm really interested in following the story the way I have my character in my head. So, even though clearly, like, even if they feel uncomfortable a little bit, they still do it. Most of my tunes are light side because I feel like a jerk for picking most of the dark side choices. So that was Lauren. Yeah, I that's kind of how I feel. It's like I always play it the way the character would be, but I never feel great about it. Even though I've seen the stories a million times, and it's like I always feel bad about it.
What's weird is that this is the first game that I've ever felt bad making those choices, personally feeling bad, even though my my character would choose the evil choices, but me as a person, I just go, oh man, like I don't know why. I'm very aware that this is not real, but just something in my head just always like goes, oh, you're a dick, or I just feel, I don't know. But what I was thinking is that, I didn't think that it was going to be this close. I thought that, Yes, I Do was going to absolutely blow it out of the water.
Right.
I'm really surprised that it's this close.
Yeah, a lot of people either, for whatever reason, they're either able to get into the dark side character so much that the dark side choices don't bother them, or it just doesn't bother them anyway, or they're able to distance themselves or whatever. But yeah, it was a lot closer than I thought too, so that was interesting. We might. I know that Doc is hoping to come back as a guest, and we're going to have him back, so we might have to ask him about this.
That's a great idea.
I think that would be good.
Get some insight on this.
And one other answer that I think it was probably I thought the funniest answer was Joe the Masked Turkey wrote back to OotiniCast on Twitter and said. Yes, in other words, yes, I do feel bad, but other times I feel terrific when crisping Harkin for one. So, if you remember Harkin, zapping him does not feel bad at all. Yeah. So that was great. All right. And
the one in particular that I always felt bad was at the beginning of I think it's a planetary quest where you have to kill that guy right in front of his kid.
Mm-hmm.
And I just remember, whoa.
Right. Yeah.
That is bad.
That got
game.
dark. Yeah.
Yeah.
That got really dark.
That's real evil. But yeah.
Right.
Interesting.
And then Magnavold in chat, I used to be light side player, but changed after I had to let a convicted war criminal go free. Now it's straight dark side. That's funny. All right. So that was great. Thanks everyone for answering and all the retweeting and everything as well. That was great. That'll bring us to the Holo feed. And unfortunately, there was going to be a dev stream last Friday. It was delayed due to the terrorist threat at Ubisoft. It turned out to be like a faux call in, but there was a lot of police that were out, and it was like a big mess for Ubisoft. And SWTOR, I'm not sure what the connection was, if it was just because, I don't know if they have a specific connection to Ubisoft, or if they were just concerned that maybe a similar thing could happen with them. But they did cancel the stream for that day. It has been rescheduled, and we'll talk about that in a sec. But actually, let's go ahead and do that right now. Since let me go down in the notes here. We'll go ahead and talk about it right now. Yeah, so there was like this. It turned out to be a hoax, fortunately, and no one was hurt, which was also great. But by the time that sort of information really was clarified, it had been canceled. However, let's see. Unfortunately, and they have rescheduled it. So the new date and time that Daniel Steed put out there is Friday, November 20th. So it is going to be a week from when it was. However, a slightly different time, 3 p.m. Central. 3 p.m. Central, 9 p.m. GMT. It's nice when they're able to figure that out. So that's going to be like 1 p.m. my time. Unfortunately, with the revised schedule, Carrie Walgren, the voice of the female Jedi Knight, can't make it, but we were able to prepare with pre-recording, so you still get to hear from her. And that's in addition to 2 other secret special guests who we were able to record interviews with as well. The team's excited to reveal what they have planned for Update 6.2 and hope you can make it, which is pretty cool.
That's great. I love the tease.
Yeah. And right, Arjar is saying it was essentially a swatting, and that is sort of the term for like when the police are sort of called on people. But I'm not sure if it was meant to be I don't know if it was exactly a swatting, Arjar. From what I read, it seemed more like a terrorist threat that the police really took seriously, which is kind of different. Swatting is more like, it's kind of the same, actually. Never mind. It's similar enough. We can call it a swatting, and it's pretty much the same thing. Anyway, when it got canceled, Swiderista went ahead and did a little stream of her own, and that was pretty cool because she'd been on the test server by then. The test server is available for 6.2. She went over several things. There were login rewards. You can earn login rewards once per day. They're basically like minor rewards, but then you build up and eventually you get to like bigger rewards as well. And it's set up in like a 28-day sort of fashion. At the 28th day, there's like a big crate thing that you get to open, which is kind of cool. It's also not the kind where you have to log in every day. It's not like if you log in, then you miss it, or you go back to square one, or the reset will happen so you'll never get the end crate. Nothing like that. It's like you'll just, when you do log in, then it'll advance that. And if once you've done it 28 days, whether that takes 28 days or much more, then you'll still get that login reward, which is pretty cool. I prefer that kind because I've played like phone games and stuff like that pretty much like force you to log in every day, and then if you don't, like you miss the big one at the end of the month or whatever, and it's very pushy when it's like that. So I kind of prefer this style.
Unrealistic.
Yeah, and Dekion mentions points out that yes, it's for non-subs as well, which is really cool. In fact, there's a slight improvement if you're a sub, but it's like not that. It doesn't seem like that big a deal. It seems like most of the rewards are available regardless of whether you're subbed or not, which is really cool. So it's credits, scraps, stims, other items, including social point bonuses and stuff like that. And yeah, and then the Strengthen Allies Premium Crate. It looks like there's different sort of setups for different months and stuff like that. So it's not going to be the exact same rewards each month as well. So yeah, that seems pretty cool. They also have a new emote sort of setup so that there's like a whole thing on the UI for emotes, which is kind of cool, especially if you're an RPGer, if you're a role player specifically, then this might be a better way to do that. It looks like it was still being sort of in develop. Like there's a lot of like sort of placeholder art and stuff like that. It seemed like to me.
Really cool.
Yeah, but it's pretty cool. Yeah, and she was also checking it out, and it's like the old way of doing it does too. So if you have like one or two emotes that you really like, you can just remember how to type them, and that will be fine too. If you don't want to bring up the emote, little emote UI thing. So that's pretty cool. She did go into the Mandalorian Flashpoint. I decided I didn't want to personally get too spoiled about it, but she actually did do it, and she does have some videos and stuff like that on it. So go check out her, her YouTube channel and all that. She's doing some really good work on this area. There was a lot of little things they put out for the Spirit of Vengeance Flashpoint. I don't want to spoil stuff for people on that one, but it does look very cool. And the art that they put out for it is very, very nice. So I'm looking forward to that. They did, and she did say they kept it a little less spoilery because like the conversations and stuff that you usually get with a Flashpoint were not put up on the test server. So if you just wanted to see the fights, you could actually do that without actually having without actually being spoiled as to sort of what the real story is. But I don't even want to see the fights. I just want to go into it straight up for me. And I'm still looking forward to it. We know that they did say it's coming out in December. They don't have an exact date yet, but that's fine. But we know it's coming up sometime in the next month and a half at most. There's an upcoming Cartel Market sale. This is started on the 13th and it's going through the 20th, so we're about halfway through it. They also mentioned that there's going to be other ones coming. There was a sort of similar one last year, but it's going to be handled differently. Last year, it's like once something went on sale, it sort of stayed until the end of this whole thing. This one, it's actually going to change. So, this is the time to do this sale, and when the next sale comes, you got to jump on that one if you want it, and then there's going to be a third one as well. So right now, 50% off of mounts, mini pets, companions, and emotes. So it sounded like you were pretty excited about something there. Kitty, what of those are you really looking forward to?
All of them. Even mini pets, and I don't collect mini pets. But there's a couple in there that I've kind of wanted, and this is what just kind of pushes me over the precipice. And just, like I went through and got a couple more of the what are they? The generating toys that I never got because
the healing toys, yeah.
Yeah, it's just so cheap, and I'm like, I'll get that and that one, and kind of. I think I've got all the stuff that I wanted to get now. But, and of course, I've already got all the emotes. So, nice. Yeah, I'm just excited about the sale. I know that we've chatted about wanting certain things to go on sale. And again, being able to look forward to like, ooh, what's going to be next? always gets me excited. So take my money, BioWare.
Yep. Yeah, so I'll be looking forward to see what are coming up. I'm hoping they usually, when they've done this sort of thing before, they often have an unlock sale towards the end, where like if you've unlocked it on one character, you can go in, spend a lot less, and to unlock it for your whole account. So I'm hoping to get a few things unlocked for that as well. There's definitely some things that are a little expensive, and it's like I didn't unlock them at the time, and nor have I since, but it's like I would still like to have them unlocked for the whole account.
Me too.
Yeah, so I'm hoping that will come up too. So, yeah. So mounts, yeah. Magnavolt says mounts. Yeah, when it's half off unlocks, we don't know, unfortunately, Deck. I have not seen any indication of that. But from just using history as a guide, I'm saying usually they do that towards the end. So hopefully that'll be in a couple of weeks. It sounds like.
Hopefully they do it the way they used to do it on Life Day. So double XP, and then those unlocks were available. Right. Fingers crossed, because they didn't do it last year, and it was like, nah. Like, no.
Right. They did do a special drop of information on the login, the new login reward that's coming up on 6.2. So let's see. What is the login reward system? Well, it's a new way to earn rewards each time you log into the game. Well, we kind of figured that out, right? In addition to the login rewards, subscribers are eligible for a weekly bonus reward. Subscribers who log into the game at least 4 days during a week will be eligible to claim their weekly bonus reward, which will vary from week to week. And so notice that that's very different from the regular login one, which it really doesn't matter how long you take to get to the end of that one. But the subscriber one is sort of weekly. So, but I would say most subscribers, probably can log in 4 times a week. That's pretty typical. So, earn at your own cadence. One of our primary design goals was to allow you the opportunity to progress your reward calendar at your own pace without missing rewards. As such, the system tracks accumulated logins, think of a punch card, providing you with a reward every time you log into the game.
Oh.
This means if you log into the game for the first time on Monday, you earn your first reward. If you do not log into the game again until Friday, you still earn your second reward, as that's your second login. This continues until you have completed all 28 days in a reward calendar. Our login, let's see, hang on, this kind of blocked off a bit. Our login reward system does not have a timed expiration. You may progress the reward calendar at your own pace, be that 28 days or more. We want your experience logging in to be a positive one anytime and every time, which is nice. Like I say, it would suck if you rush home because I've got a few hours, I only have an hour or two to log in before the, timer runs. I hate that sort of thing. So I'm glad that they're not doing it that way. The login reward system comprises 3 different reward calendars, each 28 days in length. When you log into the game, you'll be assigned to one of the 3 different calendars: Strength and Allies, United Efforts, or Aggressive Negotiations. While the majority of the rewards are shared across all calendars, each of these specific calendars comes with their own calendar-defining rewards based around their theme or associated gameplay system. Strength and Allies is companions. As you progress through this calendar, you can expect to earn various levels of companion gift qualities and amounts. United Efforts, crew skills. As you progress through this calendar, you can expect to learn various levels of material qualities and amounts. And Aggressive Negotiations, War Zones, and Galactic Starfighter. As you progress through this calendar, you can expect to earn various stims, adrenals, and requisition grants. Once you've completed your 28-day reward calendar, you'll be assigned a new reward calendar on your next login and can immediately continue to earn rewards. All players, regardless of their subscription status, are eligible to participate. Rewards may only be claimed once per server. However, all rewards which come from the login reward system are bound on Legacy. This means that even if you log in your main character who doesn't need a particular item, you can still claim your reward and simply pass it to another character on your account at your leisure.
Oh.
As you progress through a reward calendar, the rewards and reward amounts will become more and more lucrative. Will include credit chips, scavenged scrap, assorted droid parts, Jawa junk, Kaizaiken's satchel of dies. That's kind of funny. And cartel certificates. Every 7th login, you can expect to find a chest waiting for you, filled with various rewards, including a calendar-defining reward, and the following, based on the login number. Purple Sparkle Powder, the 7th login. So there's a new Sparkle Powder in the game, which is cool. Tech Fragments, 14th and 28th login. Credit Chips, 21st login. And Personal Conquest Requisition grants 50,000 personal conquest points. Yeah, and that's on the 28th login in a calendar. And Legendary Embers, 28th login in a calendar. So the cool thing is 50,000 is what you need to complete on a character. So if you have, you can either, I don't think there's a timer on it as far as I know. So you could either, if you have set characters, that you do all the time, but you might be afraid that you might not have time one week, you could just hold on to it and then do it that week. In order to get the conquest done anyway, or you could just do it on a character that you normally don't bother getting to, or whatever. Yeah. It's all good. And that's definitely how I would use it. I would not just, add 50,000 to a character who's already got 400,000.
Right. I'd forget and do it anyway. So.
Right. And yeah, as far as the sale goes on the mounts, Dex saying, hey, there's Swoteresa's new mount guide, so she's coming out with all the guides now. So she had the armor one first, and then now more recently the weapon one is pretty much done now, which is awesome. And now the mount guide, so pretty cool.
Yeah, they're really, really well done.
Yeah. And the subscriber weekly bonus reward, like you say, is eligible for subscribers who log into the game at least 4 days during a week, and that reward will vary from week to week. These rewards are designed largely as time savers for subscribed players and include the following: Personal Conquest Requisitions grants 50,000 personal conquest points. Valor Token grants 6,000 Valor. Badge of Renown grants 160,000 Renown, which is quite a bit, which is nice. And crate of Universal Prefabs grants one each of MK1, 2, 3, and 4 Universal Prefabs. So for people who like to, it's mostly for decos. I think it might be used for one or two other things in the game, but yeah, pretty cool.
That's cool.
Yeah.
Free stuff.
So yeah, I'm really, really happy about that. Really excited to see the live stream. I probably, even though like I said, I don't really want to get spoiled on the Mandalorian. They're usually pretty careful about like what they, what they announce, what they show, and all that of thing for the live streams. And I'm sure Sorterista was too, but I just wanted to be extra careful. So I'm looking forward to Friday. We're gonna check that out. See what's coming in 6.2. As far as non-SWTOR Star Wars news, Lego The Star Wars Holiday Special is now available on Disney Plus, and I did see it today. And it's actually pretty funny. Technically, it could be considered canon, although I doubt that they actually consider it canon. But it's very funny. It's very funny. It's well worth seeing. Yeah. And if you've ever seen any other sort of the Lego movie, the Lego Batman movie, all of that, good stuff. Just really, really very funny. A lot of tongue-in-cheek humor, a lot of reference humor. And of course, since Star Wars fans are Star Wars fans, they'll get the references too, which is awesome. Mm-hmm. I think a lot of the characters were voiced by like new people. I don't think I don't think like the main actors were really? for the most part. I don't know. I'll have to look at the thing, but they certainly
Ray?
didn't sound a lot like them. Lando sounded like Lando.
Ray.
I guess a lot of them were. Okay, Dekion's saying a lot of them were.
Rose?
I think a lot of them didn't. I don't know. They just didn't sound right to me. Maybe it's just because I had it. I didn't. Maybe I'll have to listen to it again on like earphones or something, because I don't know. A lot of them didn't sound like the actual voice. Like the actors who did the live version were doing the Lego version. But maybe I was wrong. So Dekion's saying a lot of them were. But it was a lot of fun anyway. And there, of course, was a Jawa saying Utini, which is awesome. There has to be. So you have to you can't have this sort of thing and not have it at some point. Oh, yeah. And
Off-world Jawa.
Yep. And Kitty, you said that you had kind of like started it, but then you stopped because you actually wanted to finish it later.
Yeah, I'd never seen any of the Lego Star Wars stuff before. I've always heard that they were pretty good.
Oh, they are.
And I put it on, and I really enjoyed it. And then I realized that it's not Christmas yet, and I wanted to wait for Christmas because Christmas does not start until the day after Thanksgiving, and that's a hard rule in my book. So I'm just going to save it and
do it in like a week and a half. Yeah.
Check it out. But it was really legitimately funny. It was definitely kind of goofy, but it's supposed to be. Right. I liked it a lot. I'm looking forward to checking out some more of the Lego stuff too.
Excellent.
But, they did a great job.
All right. That'll bring us to the Force feedback. We have read out your tweets and emails. Kuze, an old SWTOR friend of ours, he was doing operations with us back in the day and all that, wrote in, I first want to say you're now a podcasting god. Congratulations on episode 400. I've listened to the podcast here and there throughout the years just to keep that Utini connection going. A few word synchronicities have brought me to typing this email. Completing my first saber forged lightsaber. That's pretty cool. And after turning it on, my first thought was about SWTOR. Getting a random email for the first time in years saying SWTOR just went live and actually watching the live stream. My day off today, I decided to do a little housework. Instead of listening to music, decided to listen to OotiniCast, which was episode 400. So welcome back, Kuze. Awesome. Enjoy. And hope to see you in game. Let's see. Caber76 finally got to listen to 400. Really enjoyed it. Great show, everyone. Thanks for always sticking with this podcast. It's the one SWTOR podcast I've stuck with through the years. Great show. Thank you, Caber. And Intisar wrote in and congrats on the big 400 to OotiniCast, the chillest place for SWTOR news and talk. There we go. So that was. Thank you everyone for those nice words. That was we had a lot of fun with Deck and Fee and Sith Brit, and it was just tons of fun, and Doc, of course, and that was just really, really good. And that'll bring us to the Sarlacc Digest, where we go over the issues for 1,000 years, or until we run out of time. And we have a big announcement, which we've kind of hinted at a few times. And Kitty, why don't you go ahead and take it away?
We are going to be doing a dual stream where Chill is going to cosplay a character, and I'm going to cosplay a character. And we decided that, do we want to say which character?
Yeah, we should. I think so, yeah.
All right.
Go ahead.
Chill is going to be Lana.
Yes.
Lana
Lana
and I'm going to
Beniko.
be playing Darth Mar.
And he'll be Darth Mar, right.
And we're going to go through the storyline, and I'm not sure about what Chill's choices are going to be, but I'm gonna stick hard and fast to Darth Mar's kind of character and what I think the choices he would make. But
right.
I've been looking forward to it a long time, and I already bought the outfit and the character tonight or tomorrow morning.
Right, and I had a Lana outfit, so I'm going to go with that, and I'm looking forward to seeing it. Now, we could have done other characters, of course, but they had to be on the same faction, so we couldn't do like Lana and Theron because they would never meet up at any point. And I'm not sure. I guess Theron, I'm not sure which story I would do as Theron, actually. I guess it would have to be either Trooper or Smuggler. Probably Smuggler, if you ask me, but because he doesn't seem like the military type either.
What you could do is that you could do Theron is Darkseid and give him the little goatee. Like Evil Spock, or like the Van Dyke or whatever.
Right.
Theron.
Yeah, and I think we're going to both do them as warriors, right? As single blade, because we'll just sort of kind of go. I mean, with Lana, it's like, well, do you do Inquisitor or do you do, warrior? And I honestly do feel like she's more of a warrior than an Inquisitor.
I do.
I definitely feel she. Whoa, what was that? Hang on, I got
Hello,
my.
Jill, this is Lana.
I thought I had my ringer off.
Stop talking about me.
Apparently, I didn't have my ringer off. Sorry about that. Yeah, so I'm gonna do Juggernaut on her, and I think you're doing Juggernaut as well, right? Just because they both use single blades,
right?
So it kind of makes the most sense.
I kind of toyed with the idea of going Marauder with Mar, but I think going Juggernaut is going to be the way to go. Also, right. I was also thinking that if our choices get a little too monotonous, I'll just spacebar through it. You know what I mean?
Right. And that way
that we don't have to kind of have story and then listen to the story again, which I'm fine with.
Right. Yeah.
Or maybe we could choose like, oh, you take this one, I'll take the next one. That would be a good way maybe to do it.
Now, Dexing, we could do different classes, which would allow to enter each other's phase without repeating them. We could do it that way.
Yeah.
I guess I could see Lana as an Inquisitor more than Mar anyway.
Yeah. Mar's definitely got that Jug feel.
Yeah, he's definitely got the Jug feel for sure. Let's see. So, and I guess that would probably make her an assassin then, because I can't really see her as a sorcerer.
I don't know. Let's think on it a little bit longer, because
right.
I know Chill and I were talking before we were like, okay, don't let's not talk about it anymore. Let's wait to talk about it on the podcast. I actually went and did a little Scoobying around on Google about Mar and kind of learned a little bit more about him. And actually, you could do this, chat. Google Mar without mask, and there are some pictures out there and some videos of Darth Mar without the mask. So I'm going to be using that as my basis of what his physical appearance is.
Even though it may have been sort of like placeholder art.
Yeah.
But still, at least, they had some idea that that's what he actually looked like.
Yeah. It would kind of make sense because, when you finally see Barriss, he looks like that old dude.
Mm-hmm.
And then Mar, they're, they're roughly the same age, I think. And the Mar looked a little old. So I don't know. We'll see. I know what's going to happen. I'm going to get in there and I'm going to go, no, let's give him, let's start messing around. I got to have the Sith eyes and
right.
Talk a good game.
Right. I'm tempted to, I guess we could try the assassin thing on Lana, only then we'd have the dual bladed saber staff and that would feel weird. I don't know. We'll consider that anymore. Anyway, the real point is that we'll be leveling them up together, trying different, different choices and so on. And, just having fun sort of leveling them up as characters within, of SWTOR. So I'm really looking forward to it.
With someone else, get somebody that you're going to play the game with, especially through the storyline consistently.
Mm-hmm.
That's going to be fun. I'm really, really looking forward to it. It's going to be fun.
And I think we're going to start on Thursday, it sounds like. Most likely does Thursday work for you still?
Thursday's good. Let's do Thursday.
Cool. Okay, we'll commit to that. That way we have one extra day to sort of like do a little more research and get the character rolled up and all that.
That sounds awesome.
Rolled up using the old tabletop RPG term. But yeah, I'm really looking forward to that. So and usually on Thursdays you start at 11, is that right?
Yeah.
All right, 11. We'll plan on that. So 11 Pacific, so that's like 2 p.m. Eastern, and other times I can't think off the top of my head.
10 p.m. European.
I mean, except for like Central and Mountain, but those are easy. All right, Kitty. Anything else then?
I think I'm good. I'm really excited.
Yeah,
I might roll up right after this.
All right. Yeah, I got to take care of dinner. I'll do some editing, but yeah, I think I'll get Lana taken care of tonight as well. All right, then that's a show. If you'd like to play with us in the Utina Knights Guild on the Republic side of the Satil Shan server, or in our Guild on the Empire side, do a /C join Utini to join the Utini channel. Then let us know you're a fan of the show. You can email questions and comments about the show to OotiniCast@gmail.com. Follow us on Twitter using @OotiniCast. You can find contact details for us on our website, OotiniCast.com, which includes how to subscribe using iTunes, Stitcher, and the rest. We record the show live bi-weekly on Tuesdays, 4 p.m. Pacific. Go to OotiniCast.com/live to find out how to join in. Our theme song is Doomsday by Jean-Paul Zogby. And thank you to the chat room.
Thank you, chat room!
And we'll see you next show. All right. Thanks, everyone, for coming. That was awesome. And we'll see you next time. Hope to see some of you Thursday at 11 so we can see how Lana and Darth Mar take off. Have a good one.
Bye, everybody.
Stopping the